Good morning class, my name is Nazia Ishfaq and I am your course instructor for the course of psychopathology for this semester. And today it's our 11th lecture for this semester, and the topic we're going to cover today is another cluster of disorders, particularly from childhood and adolescence, which is known as pervasive developmental disorders. So as it has been followed in the previous classes also, we're going to cover what this cluster of disorder is about. We're going to discuss various types and causes. But before we move on to the details of the disorder, I would like you to understand the term pervasive developmental disorders. Now the name of the cluster suggests that there are basically three terms. We'll look at all of these terms one by one so that you can have an idea what exactly the term means, because once you understand the term, you'll understand the crux of the whole disorder cluster. So we'll start with the name. The name is pervasive developmental disorders. First of all, I'll start with the term pervasive, and if you just look at the definition or the meaning of the term pervasive, it's basically present or noticeable in every part. Pervasive is something. Now to understand the term pervasive, you need to understand there are two main components of pervasive or pervasiveness. Pervasive comes from the word prevail, and which suggests that something which is happening from a continuity of time, something which is happening from a time period from the beginning or from a longer period of time. That's pervasive. And the second component of pervasive is that the intensity of the thing is such that it is present in every part, or it is noticeable, or it is widespread. It's not limited to just one aspect of that thing, it is a widespread thing, yani phela hua hai different areas of the whole crux. So if I have to summarize these two components, pervasive is something which is not limited to one thing, and which is not like other disorders, other psychological disorders. What they have is they have a triggering incident or they have a triggering event which causes the disorder. But in case of pervasiveness or pervasive disorders, if a disorder is said to be pervasive, it can happen that something happened and then as a result the disorder happened. They have to have a long course of history for something, or something which is prevalent in broader areas, यानी कुछ ऐसा है जो एक लंबे अरसे से चल रहा है और लंबे अरसे तक जारी रहा है और बहुत ज़्यादा फैलाव के साथ जारी रहा है. That is exactly what is known as pervasive. Okay, now coming to the second term of the name, that is developmental. Pervasive, because if you go again on the name, it was pervasive developmental disorders. Now the second thing we need to discuss is what is developmental. I'm sure all of you have studied or would be studying developmental psychology course. So basically developmental is coming from the word development, and when we study development in psychology, we mean every domain of development starting from physical, emotional, cognitive, social, language development. Every aspect of the person or every process the person goes through comes under certain domain of development. It could be any type of development: language development, physical development, social development, cognitive development, emotional development, physical development, intelligence development, anything which, because when a person, okay, now next thing we need to discuss, now what, how and where does this development begin from? Okay, now development of a human being or any person, it starts with the time, not just when the human being or the person is born, rather it starts from when that person is conceived by the mother. What I mean here is that before that the 9-month period before birth is also a part of development. You can't ignore that, because that's a very crucial time, and every system of the person or the child or that particular human being is in process of development during that. In fact, that's the base of development, so you can't ignore the base of development and rush on to the upper part of development to understand development. So developmental when we come to developmental, I've discussed the types of developmental areas, and I've also discussed where does this development begin from. Like, to understand development, how long or how back to the person's history you can go or you should go to understand his developmental history. Okay, now coming to the third word of the disorder name, and that is disorders, and we'll discuss this in very detail in our first class of psychopathology. What exactly is disorder? I would just repeat that in one line. When something is going out of order, or when something is not functioning in the order in which is supposed to function. So when we join these three words, pervasive developmental disorders, so what this sums up to is pervasive developmental disorders is a class of disorders in which the abnormality is pervasive in nature, like it has a long history. It is related to some developmental problems, developmental abnormalities, and the third is that it is widespread across various regions or various domains of the functioning of that person. This is the basic crux of pervasive developmental disorders. Now we'll move on to further description of the disorders. And according to DSM, these pervasive developmental disorders is a group of disorders in which there are delays in development of socialization and communication skills, which we've discussed before, and parents may note symptoms as early as infancy, although the typical age of onset is before 3 years of age. Okay? Now what exactly this means is that you cannot, the symptoms in all these in all the disorders coming under this cluster, the symptoms, they tend to show themselves before the age of 3, but clinically it is recommended that you wait till age of 3 for the child to be diagnosed, because till the age of 3 a lot of developmental systems are in the process of development, and we take the margin error, or we take the chance of margin for improvement to happen. So it's not ideally recommended to diagnose these disorders before the age of 3 until and unless it's too obvious. Even in that case, it's not highly recommended. Okay, now symptoms. What could be the symptoms under these disorders? As we've discussed, different developmental areas. So again, language difficulty, difficulty in relating to people, objects and events, unusual play with toys and other objects. Like these children, they won't have ordinary play habits. They won't play like other children play with things or with objects or with other children. They had difficulty with changing in routine or familiar surroundings. Now class, this is a very important feature of this cluster. Like, you've noticed around you, children around you, usually children, they get bored of monotony. They cannot handle things if something is happening in a routine. But in case of children diagnosed with pervasive developmental disorders, it's exactly the opposite. These children cannot tolerate any changes in their routine, in their lifestyle, in their patterns of daily living. I would like to quote an example. It was a case of an autistic girl, and she used to have one same breakfast every morning for years and years, and by chance, if just once in life course, I think this happened, that her breakfast was something else other than what she usually had, and she had taken the toll on herself. She would bang herself, and she would hit the table or hit people around her just because of that minor change in her breakfast. So this is the level of their difficulty when it comes to changing, when it comes to handling or managing any sort of changes in their routine. And the next very important part is repetitive body movements or behavior patterns. Now what these repetitive body movements or behavior patterns are, that there are certain physical movements which these children or individuals, they keep on repeating. It could be hitting a table, it could be flapping a table, or it could be moving around. I'll give you the further examples of also these movements when we move forward in the lecture. Okay, now till now we've just discussed basic what pervasive developmental disorders are and what things are, part of this cluster of disorders. But now we're going to discuss types of various pervasive developmental disorders. So basically there are four main types of pervasive developmental disorders, or four disorders which come under the cluster of pervasive developmental disorders. The first one is known as autism or autism spectrum disorders. The second one is Asperger's syndrome. The third one is childhood disintegrative disorder, and the fourth one is Rett's syndrome. Now, all of these disorders, their basic crux is the same as pervasive. It is going to be pervasive in nature. It is related to developmental areas, and it's an abnormality, as the name disorder suggests. और जितने हमने एरियाज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट डिस्कस कर लिए हैं, लाइक सोशल इंटरेक्शन, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, लैंग्वेज, प्ले, all those things, they are mingled in all these disorders. Now we're going to look each of these disorders one by one so that we can have a better understanding of all these disorders. And again, you can see here that children, they have language when it comes to speaking, conversations, repetitive play skills, limited social skills are generally evident, and unusual responses to sensory information such as loud noises and lights are also common. This is something you need to understand, class, that these children do not respond to sensory information around them as other children do. We'll discuss that when we discuss other types of disorders. Okay, now coming to the first type of pervasive developmental disorder is autism, which is also known as autism spectrum disorders. Now there are basically two main components of this disorder, and those main components are problem with communication and interactions, and the second one is repetitive behaviors. Now when it comes to communication and interaction problems, how are these problems shown in this disorder? First of all, the child avoids eye contact. He cannot maintain eye contact, and even if he can, it's very difficult for him to look into the eyes of the person. Not being able to express what they are thinking through language. They cannot express their feelings through language. Now here there could be either the language is not developed, कि language develop ही नहीं हुई या develop हुई है, but that development is hampered और वो ठीक नहीं है, and the child cannot speak what he is thinking or what he is feeling. The next is have a high pitched or flat voice, कि या तो बहुत चीख के बोलेंगे या इतना आहिस्ता बोलेंगे कि समझ ही नहीं आएगी और उस आवाज़ में कोई एक्सप्रेशन नहीं होगा. Find it hard to keep up a conversation. वो बातचीत नहीं कर सकेंगे लोगों के साथ. अगर बातचीत शुरू भी कर लिए तो थोड़ी देर में डिसकंटिन्यू हो जाएगी और बेरब्त और बेमतलब किस्म की बातचीत होगी. Have trouble controlling their emotions, like they cannot control their anger, their happiness, their sadness. It's very difficult for them to handle their emotions. And now coming to the second part, which was repetitive behaviors. अब repetitive behaviors हमने ये तो discuss कर लिए थे कि क्या होते हैं. Here I would like to give you some examples like hand flapping. Hand flapping is कि हाथ को बिल्कुल flat करके टेबल के ऊपर मारते रहेंगे and till it takes them, till it exhausts them, or till they think that it should be over now. Rocking and jumping यानी उछल कूद करेंगे, छलांगे मारेंगे, and then it's twirling. Twirling क्या है कि चेयर के बीच में बैठ के गोल गोल खुद भी घूमेंगे और चेयर को भी घुमाएंगे. This is known as twirling. Now these are some examples of the repetitive behaviors or repetitive physical movements that these children are engaged in. So this was basically autism or autism spectrum disorders. Okay, now we come to the next type of pervasive developmental disorders, and this is Asperger's syndrome. Okay, now Asperger's syndrome को समझने के लिए सिर्फ if you just focus on one word, that is high functioning type of autism. Asperger's syndrome, when it comes to the type of symptoms or clinical description, is exactly same as autism. It's just that the severity of symptoms is lower or milder than autism. जो सिम्टम्स ऑटिज्म में थे, कम्युनिकेशन के, इंटरैक्शन के या रिपीटेटिव बिहेवियर्स के, दो सिम्टम्स आर सेम in Asperger's syndrome, but their severity or intensity level is milder as compared to autism spectrum disorders. इस वजह से जो Asperger's वाले बच्चे या लोग हैं, they are better in functioning as compared to autistic children or autistic individuals. They have better social skills. They can, perform their daily life functioning slightly better than as compared to autistic individuals or autistic spectrum disorder children. Okay, now we move on to the third type of pervasive developmental disorders, and this is known as childhood disintegrative disorder. This disorder is also known as another name such as Heller's syndrome. And here class, it's important to notice that this type of pervasive developmental disorder is the least common type among all the types, and this is very hardly found in actual settings or in actual when we come to clinical dealing of people. And how this is different from the other two types we've discussed from autism and Asperger's. इसमें what you need to understand is that it has late onset. कि type of developmental delays तो वही हैं, लेकिन इसमें जो onset है symptoms का, like the symptoms बाकी दो में we saw that symptoms begin to show themselves before the age of 3, but here symptoms are going to show themselves after the age of 3. This is one important difference, how childhood disintegrative disorder is different from Asperger's or autistic spectrum disorder. So you need to understand this. And some symptoms which could be part of this disorder are delay or lack of spoken language, impairment in non-verbal behaviors, कि non-verbally they are not able to express themselves, like physical movements, inability to start or maintain a conversation, lack of play. Now, a lack of play could include either they're not just getting into play, or either they'll start play but will not be able to continue play, or either they're not going to play like other children do. So it could include all of these or one of these. Loss of bowel and bladder control, कि ये इन बच्चों में bowel और bladder control नहीं होगा. Loss of language and communication skills, loss of motor skills and loss of social skills. अब आप देख रहे हैं कि वही चीज़ें रिपीट हो रही हैं, just with minor differences. And then we come to the fourth type, which is Rett syndrome. Now Rett syndrome is basically a genetic disorder, and that typically becomes apparent after 6 to 18 months of age. कि यहाँ पे जो है symptoms वो बच्चे की पैदाइश के बाद से 6 माह से लेके 18 months, which makes it almost 1.5 year, उस वक्त तक जो है वो symptoms शो होना शुरू हो जाते हैं. और इसमें भी symptoms वही same type है, problems with language. Because एक चीज़ ध्यान में रखिए कि all these disorders are coming under the cluster of pervasive developmental. तो चीज़ें वही repeat होंगी with minor differences. Now here symptoms again have language coordination and repeated movements. And one important thing is with smaller head size, again developmental issue. So that was the types of pervasive developmental disorders. Now we'll discuss various causes of pervasive developmental disorders. Okay class, you need to understand that there are various causes for these disorders, and since the age of onset of symptoms, you need to understand what the causes could be in that age. Okay, now first of all you need to understand that causes could be, or in most of the cases the causes are related to pre-birth issues. Like when the child is under the process of development, his prenatal development is not proper, is not up to the mark, or have issues with that, which could result in further development of pervasive developmental disorders. एक तो ये हो गया. अब प्री बर्थ इश्यूज पे जो है वो क्या क्या हो सकता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, द फीटस इज एक्सपोज टू सम टॉक्सिन सच एज लेड, or it could be the mother is taking some drugs or some toxin agents which could lead further the development of the child. और इसके अलावा if during delivery the supply of oxygen to the brain is not appropriate or is not in appropriate amount, even that could also result in later development of pervasive developmental disorders. Or if any injury or infection happens while the child is in prenatal stage, I mean before birth, even that could also contribute to the development of pervasive developmental disorders. And one other thing which could also contribute, that is premature birth. If the child is born before his proper time or before the time he was expected to be born, and now the development is not complete, I know it could be 2 or 3 weeks before his actual time period, even that could also lead to or contribute towards the development of pervasive developmental disorders. Brain damages are included, brain related organic problems, or it could be other. Diet is also very much important, diet and other factors which the mother goes through. If the diet of the mother is such which the development, especially the brain development, because all these abnormalities in these disorders, they are whether it be language or motor or social interaction, all these are controlled through the child's brain. So if the mother's diet is such that child's brain is not being nourished, or the child in general is not being nourished, in very few cases that could also be related to pervasive developmental disorders, but that's not a major factor. It needs to be included with other these among major factors to show its effect. Okay, now coming to the last part, we'll just briefly have a look at the treatment of pervasive developmental disorders. Now in these disorders, mainly the child is relying on medications, and these medications, okay class, here you need to understand कि ये जितने भी pervasive developmental disorders हैं, इनके लिए medications ऐसे नहीं इस्तेमाल होती हैं कि इन्होंने बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाना होता है. सिर्फ इनके जो डिसऑर्डर की वजह से जो बिहेवियरल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, कि ये जो जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल दे हैव आउटबर्स्ट्स, और दे हैव सम रिपीटेटिव पैटर्न्स, और दे आर नॉट सिटिंग स्टिल, इस तरह के प्रॉब्लम्स के लिए ओनली दे आर गिवन मेडिकेशन. और मेडिकेशन के अलावा दे आर इन स्पेशलाइज्ड इंस्टीट्यूशंस. आपने अपने इर्द गिर्द ज़रूर देखा होगा, वी हैव स्पेशल एजुकेशन सिस्टम. नाउ व्हाट दैट स्पेशल एजुकेशन सिस्टम डज, they do not follow the normal course curriculum as followed in normal schools. Rather, they focus their curriculum is such a nature which is according to the child's needs, and their main focus is not to educate the child in a worldly manner, rather to make him to a level where he is self-sufficient, or his education is based on eating. It could be eating habits. Can he use toilet himself, can he eat, can he change clothes for himself, things like that. So this type of system, education system is recommended and is also used in our it's used also in Pakistan, and even internationally it's much better as compared to Pakistan. But that's basically what the treatment includes, and basically two main parts: medication for their behavioral problems, and education, specialized education systems for their daily basis of functioning. This adds to their support. So class, with this we come to the end of today's lecture. So in basically today's lecture we discussed pervasive developmental disorders, in which we've in detail discussed pervasive developmental disorders, their basic crux, what the term means. Then we have discussed various types of pervasive developmental disorders, how one type differs from the other type, and then we have discussed causes of developmental disorders and a brief look at the treatment for pervasive developmental disorders. That was all for today's class. Meet you in your online class for further discussion and questions. Thank you.